Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on this edition of The Inside. I am Bablet Jonathan. Today we are looking at the struggle for change in Cameroon, particularly at the helm of the state. The wind of change is blowing through the ongoing registration of voter registration exercise ongoing in the country, while Cameroonians in the diaspora are raising concerns about the fact that the elections organizing body, Elections Cameroon, has not started voter registration abroad. This has been their cry for several weeks now. In the meantime, Cameroonians who spoke to us, particularly young people here in Cameroon's economic capital, as they scrambled to register their name in the electoral register, expressed a burning desire for change. They want someone else at the helm of the state, preferably a young person. We are looking at this change, this wind of change, this struggle for change in Cameroon in this edition of The Inside. Meet our guest in some few seconds. Our guest today is Lapana Tasha Mama. Is a civil society leader and writer, Cameroonian, joining us from Cyprus. He is in the south of Cyprus. Lapana Tasha Mama, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babila. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity you have given me again on Equinox TV. It is a privilege for me to contribute to the change that we are praying for and campaigning for every day in Cameroon. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity again. And thanks for those who will be watching us and listening, and those who will take it into consideration in order to consider us in the diaspora and all Cameroonians who are desperate for change.
Right. First of all, how is life in Cyprus for migrants?
Life in Cyprus is okay, but knowing carefully what is happening all over the world, where migrants are being treated in nearly all nations as a second-class citizen. It is not quite different here in Cyprus. But when you want to compare Cyprus with Cameroon, Cameroon is more than 100 times better than Cyprus in terms of human and material and natural resources. But Cyprus is 1 million times developed than Cameroon. And one other thing I came to discover in Cyprus is they have a positive change of mentality. They have a positive mentality. And that is the main issue and the main tool for development. Life in Cyprus for migrants has been some kind of issue. And Cyprus is a country that usually takes everything into consideration. And that is why they gave us the opportunity. That was on the 20th of April 2024, last Saturday, for all migrants to gather in the capital city, Nicosia, to campaign and ask for a right that we were complaining against. And they gave us the opportunity. We moved around in the Nicosia with the help of the police, peacefully, and then it ended well. And we believe that things will be better for everybody here in Cyprus.
Right. Did the positive mentality of the people in Cyprus influence your book titled Positive Mentality for the Cameroon We Want? Right. I'm asking if the positive mentality of the people in Cyprus, which you talked about earlier, influence the title of your book, Positive Mentality for the Cameroon We Want.
Yes, the positive mentality here in Cyprus that I kind of discover is the people understood very well their duty. Every citizen in Cyprus is responsible. That is one of the things I came to discover. Mainly maybe because the government also they are playing their part. When the first time I saw the presidency in Cyprus, I saw their offices, ministries in Cyprus, I wondered, I asked myself, what is happening? And then I discovered that they are spending a lot to certify the citizen. rather than buying luxurious vehicles and all other kind of issue to parade and move around. It is very difficult for somebody in Cyprus to know when the president is passing or when a minister is passing, because they don't move with comfort. They don't move with police making noise all around. That is a positive mentality. Positive mentality that I also came to discover in Cyprus is that one of the issues in Cameroon is hygiene. The way people are taking sanitation is not. Every citizen in Cyprus is responsible for his or her debt, starting from your house right up to, and you pay for it. Why in Cameroon the government provides or company provides things for us to throw our debt in, but we prefer to throw it away. And those are some little things I came to discover in Cyprus, that there is a collaboration between the government and the civilians. Serious collaboration. They understood themselves, and the government understood what they have to, their responsibility toward the citizen, and the citizen also understood their responsibility toward the government. There are strong institutions in Cyprus, very strong institutions, and that is a positive mentality in which I am preaching on every blessed day for Cameroon to adopt such mentality.
Do you think some of those things are applicable in Cameroon when we see what's been happening for several decades today? Roads blocked when the president of the republic is moving across the town from the Unity Palace maybe to the Simaleng International Airport, and business activities slowed down, and other activities almost brought to a standstill along the road where the president is passing, the governor passing, the minister passing, traffic is interrupted, and all those things that we see, and coupled with the some kind of distrust that seems to be existing between those who are governing the country and the citizens.
I believe it can be applicable in Cameroon because in Cyprus there are not some kind of superhuman beings living in Cyprus. There are all human beings like us, Cameroonians. We left Cameroon and we are in Cyprus, and we are obeying and following all that they are doing. Many Cameroonians in Cyprus, if they return back home, they will not be the same. Meaning it can be applicable in Cameroon. What is happening, and then I came to discover the main issue, is that what those who are in power in Cameroon causing confusions whenever they are moving from one place to another with their convoys. It is because of pride. It is because they don't even know why they are there. The main purpose of joining the government or even campaigning for them to be a part of the government minister is to show to the citizens that they are superhuman beings. But why in Cyprus here, they know that it is a responsibility that has been given to them, and they are answerable to the population, and they don't have any right to disturb anybody, cause traffic anywhere. That is one of the things. It can't happen in Cameroon if we have a better leader. All those things are happening in Cameroon because the government, under the leadership of President Paul Biya, is not willing. They are there for their own self. And when you are for yourself, the only thing you have to do is to show yourself to those you believe you are more than them. And that is what they are doing. If they change their mentality positively and say, okay, president is going to this place, president just needs but the president vehicles to go there. All those convoys, all those money spent, they use it for onto the citizen, maybe construct roads, supply water, because the comfort of a minister in Cameroon, the comfort of the president in Cameroon, if you gather it for 1 year, it can construct roads in Cameroon, that Douala Yaoundé road. It can expand electricity to one region. But here in Cyprus, they took all those things into consideration and they are answerable. They don't spend the government money, the taxpayer money anyhow, because at the end of it, they will be called to account for. And that is why they are responsible. They are looking forward. And then looking at the relationship, the collaboration between the government and the citizen. Here in Cyprus, they understood themselves. They are not fighting to take position in Cyprus or in European country just for nothing. They are fighting because they have something to deliver. They have a vision. But in Cameroon and many African countries, they do not have any vision. Their own pride is just that it is my turn. It is, I have to be the president without any vision. And that is why they cannot cope with the population. They believe that becoming a president is becoming superhuman beings, where you have to trample upon those who are under there. And that is the only vision I believe somebody like President Paul Biya have or inculcate or it took in after the coup d'etat in 1983. I believe that is with a kind of, because when I looked through all the vision President Paul Biya was having for the people of Cameroon in 1982, and the vision and the President Paul Biya we are having today, there are two different things. Immediately after the coup d'etat, that was 1983 or 1984, President Paul Biya changed from being the leader with a vision to just somebody who will be fighting for position and fighting for his own family and his own pocket. And that is why he decided to choose the most wicked, terrible Cameroonians to form his government. And they now have created a very big gap between them and the citizens. And the only thing they are thinking is that when I will pass here, people will know that minister passed here. But that is not the case in European countries. They are afraid to go to the citizen if they have not done anything right. But in Cameroon, they have the police and the yandans to intimidate for them to pass.
All right, before we go forward, permit me just say this. It would not be advisable or polite to refer to our authorities, the authorities of this country, as wicked and terrible persons. Let's just make that very clear. Now, let's talk about the responsibilities of the citizens, because earlier you mentioned two things: the responsibilities of those who are governing and the responsibilities of those who are governed. Now, about the responsibilities of citizens, there seems to be some kind of anarchy on the streets of the Republic of Cameroon, where motorbike riders, taxi drivers, and other commuters do not respect simple rules like stopping when the traffic light is red, respecting the traffic light, respecting the police officers on the street who are directing traffic, and of course respecting some basic rules and regulations governing the management of public affairs like transparency, integrity, moral rectitude, probity, truth. These issues seem to be far away from many citizens in Cameroon.
Yes. Everything I keep on pointing and appeasing finger to the government and the civilians in Cameroon. Because when I talk about everybody in Cyprus is responsible, or in Europe responsible, and they are responsible for a lot of things. Here in Cyprus, if you ask somebody, like maybe you have a vehicle that have to carry 5 persons, that is 3 persons behind, the driver and 1 person in front. If you carry more than, maybe put 2 persons in front or overload, the government here will not punish the driver. They will punish the addition, all the civilians who are inside. That is one of the things here that they have implemented that is happening here in Cyprus. There is nothing like overload here in Cyprus, because when a vehicle is discovered overload, those who are inside the vehicle, they will punish nearly everybody. You have a fine. And concerning traffic, all those things are happening in Cameroon because they know the system. They know that everything boils down to corruption. And anything you can do, you can buy your way. If the government, the first thing the government of Cameroon can do in order to bring order in our city is first to implement discipline. If there is no discipline, if we keep on living in the system where it is all about who you know, we can never change. And that is the main issue in Cameroon. I have my 500 francs. I will take a different day. I have my 500 francs. I will not respect the traffic light. I have my 500 francs. I will not respect the police officer. If I succeed to pass, okay, if they stop me, I'm going to give them 500 francs, and that is all. That is how Cameroonians are living. And if the government will say, okay, we have a strong institution, they make all the institution, the police, the yandams, to be strong, the Cameroon will change. I saw a video yesterday that a yandams were destroying a motorcycle because the person refused to give him 1,000 francs. And it went on social media. But the government would not punish that kind of person. In Cyprus, they're already working on introducing body cameras to all police officials. And that is what I talked about last week, that if they can do it in Cameroon, all this corruption will end. And then the government should, as I keep on saying, the whole issue comes to our mentality. If we all can change our mentality positively, we will have a better Cameroon, where the government will say, I am for the people. And the people will say, I have a responsibility toward the government and toward my nation. And I do not have to disobey any police officer. And a police officer will say, I do not have to take any bribe. My duty is to maintain peace and order in the society and not to take bribe from the civilians. We will have the Cameroon that we want.
Take a look at what the newspapers reported this week in Cameroon, and after the press review we'll discuss about the wind of change blowing through the country, notably through the ongoing voter registration exercise. The press review. The Post reports that the U.S. Department Secretary of State discusses Cameroon relations, human rights, and the resolution of the anglophone conflict, encouraging multi-stakeholder dialogue, saying there is no military solution to the crisis. Cameroon Tribune says the disarmament and demobilization and reintegration of fighters and ex-fighters in the crisis-stricken regions is well on course. The Voice: chaos as thousands brave sleepless nights in the University of Biya for international French language proficiency test registration, putting the Faculty of Arts Administration under fire for gross incompetence. On the front page of the Guardian Post, Bamenda gets 30 billion francs CFA to construct and upgrade roads. The Herald Tribune highlights what it calls an alarming news of 7 million Cameroonians without birth certificates as revealed by Decentralization Minister Georges Elanga-Obam. Cameroon Tribune reports that among the 7 million, there are close to 1.5 million children, including about 56,000 students facing difficulties registering for official exams, notably the first school leaving certificate and certificat d'études primaires, because they do not have birth certificates. The Horizon exclaims, road projects, evaluation time, 0% progress on phase 2 of the Yaoundé-Douala highway. Municipal update projects the Bamenda Regional Hospital Laboratory as it gets international certification. In an exclusive interview granted Municipal Updates, Boye Bishop, His Lordship Michael Bibi, breaks silence on burning issues, reveals he has been kidnapped twice, insists education without God means nothing, clarifies relationship with Bishop Emeritus Bushu, and discusses his take on government's handling of the anglophone crisis. You're welcome back. Lapana Tasha Mama, civil society leader and writer, joining us from the south of Cyprus. Let's pick out two things from the papers. First of all, in the Post newspaper, a United States official reiterates the point that there is no military solution to the anglophone crisis. In the meantime, there is military force being implemented on the ground in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Earlier this week, 2 persons were shot, according to our sources, by military officers in Ajung village in the northwest region of the country. One of them died, and it is later in the course of discussion with the other person who did not die and who was rushed to the hospital that the officers discovered that they were not separatist fighters, and they were one person had already died. And now, in the southwest region of the country, we had another so-called separatist general who was killed by soldiers and his corpse displayed on the streets of Kumba. What do you think about all these?
That is the poor mentality I keep on talking about on the part of the government. I believe in 2022, we have an interview here on Equinox TV where I talk about there is no way the problem in southern Cameroon can't end militarily. Neither can the government kill all Amazonian fighters. It's impossible, because Amazonia is already an ideology. And many people are journeying it out of hunger. Many people are journeying it out of revenge. And I told the Amazonian fighters and the Amazonian in general that there is no way they can kill all the military of the Cameroon government. Because when they kill one, the government will recruit 20, because they are taking the children of the poor all over Cameroon who are desperate out of poverty and frustration to join the military. So this is the main issue that I keep on holding on to it, that there is no way the crisis in southern Cameroon can end militarily. Secondly, it is a constitutional crisis. Why are we fighting?
Natasha, Mama, please, before we continue, I just want us to establish this so we can be on the same platform. Today we are talking about northwest and southwest regions. It's either former southern Cameroons or northwest and southwest regions. I believe we agree on that.
Okay, talking about the issue and the military options that the government of President Paul Biya has taken into consideration regarding northwest and southwest region. I make an interview here in 2022 talking about the whole issue, that the crisis in the northwest and the southwest region cannot end militarily. It can never end militarily, because the government cannot, the military cannot kill all the Amazonian fighters, because Amazonia is already an ideology, and many people are joining it out of frustration. Many people are joining it out of revenge. Many people are joining it out of hunger. And the Amazonian fighter also cannot kill all the military, because when they killed one military, the government will recruit 20 to replace that one, because they are taking the children of the poor, the children who are frustrated and desperate to join the military to fight. So when you kill those innocent Cameroonians, you are killing your own brothers who have nothing to do. And secondly, the crisis in northwest and southwest region is a constitutional crisis. If you go back to history, you discover that Cameroon was won under the Germans during colonization. And then Cameroon was not divided to the British or to the French. Cameroon was given to them by the League of Nations as a mandated territory. That is just like you have a piece of land, and then you have two people who want to maybe cultivate on that piece of land. They say, we want to use your land. You say, okay, take this part, and you take this part. And it does not give them the right that they are owners. They have ownership over that land. And that is what I explained some years behind concerning this issue. So Cameroon was one. And then when they were given to British as a mandated territory, the United Nations came in 1945 and took it as a trusteeship territory. And then they have been under that trusteeship territory for some period. And then this is a constitutional issue.
Some little connection issues there with our guest.
This issue comes up to the point where the federal system was dissolved. It's still a constitutional issue. So this problem in the northwest and the southwest region need to be solved constitutionally, meaning they had to sit on the table And sitting on the table needs all the parties. Those who are for separation to sit on that same table. Those who are for federation should sit on that table. Those who are for one and indivisible Cameroon should sit on that table. And then everybody should be given a chance to air out what is disturbing them. If those for separation can convene those for federation and those for one Cameroon, that we can form we can separate and go our ways, they do it. If those for federation can convince the other two parties, they do it. If those for one and indivisible Cameroon can convince the two, those of federation and those of separation, that we can live as one people, as we were before, it is okay. So the whole issue needs sitting and on the table, dialoguing and discussing like brothers to end the issue. Killing can never end. Whether the military are displaying people killed, why? That is stupidity, and that is a poor mentality. The Amazonian fighters are there. It's showing on social media how and celebrating how they killed their own brothers and sisters. On social media, the military is doing the same. That is something that we need to pray for, that God should touch the heart of all these two elephants fighting in the Northwest and the Southwest region to change the mentality positively, so that we all can sit on the table. Talking about military option is not the way out to the problem we are facing in the Northwest and the Southwest region of Cameroon.
All right, another issue raised by the papers is the confusion that occurred earlier this week in the University of Biya, where thousands of young persons from Douala, Yaoundé, Bamenda, Bafus, and Marwa, and other parts of the country wanted to obtain a ticket to go to the bank and pay 210,000 francs CFA registration fee for the International French Language Proficiency Test examination in order to migrate to Canada. And because of the huge crowd and what has been qualified as gross incompetence of the Faculty of Arts Administration of the University of Biya, there was total confusion there. There was, and some persons were even injured in the course of all that. When you look at this number of persons streaming into the University of Biya to obtain a ticket in view of paying for registration for an examination in order to move to Canada, what do you read in all that?
I saw it yesterday on Equinox TV, and then I baffled. I was surprised and I was disturbed. And one of the issues is the government. That is one of the main problems in Cameroon, is the government. Because when you look at those who are out of Cameroon, those who are in Europe, in America, all of them, they are praying to come back home. Anybody who is out of Cameroon and have a vision knows that that vision cannot be fulfilled. That dream cannot be fulfilled in a foreign land. You have to return back home. I am here, I am praying every blessed day for things to be okay so that I can return back home, to be in my own homeland and do what I desire to do. We need to speak the truth. Those who are out of the country need to open up. And when I asked myself yesterday that, I said, if this thing is happening and people are fighting to travel out of the country, in which I am out of the country, I am seeing what I am passing through, and people are fighting to go out, then there is something wrong. And then I ask myself, if me in particular, why is it that I cannot return back home? The government. The poor governance in Cameroon is the main reason, because they have frustrated the business sector in Cameroon in such a way that those who desire to be entrepreneurs in future are not seeing anything. Opportunities are there in Cameroon. All the problems we have been talking about in Cameroon, all the problems we have in Cameroon are opportunities for people to become billionaires and millionaires. But the government have not given us the atmosphere, the condition necessary for us to become something. And that is why thousands of Cameroonians believe that there is something better out there. Yet, if you travel to Europe, you have better salary. You have better salary, but that money, if you are not careful, or you will spend it here. You will spend it here. Many Cameroonians are not speaking the truth. Those who are out there. When I came here, I was having some kind of vision that in 2-3 years, this is what I will become. But I came to discover that those who have been coming back home, throwing money, many of them carrying jangi, before throwing that money, many of them involved in some kind of terrible activities that if you are somebody with conscience, you cannot involve in such.
All right. Lapa Natasha Mama talking to us.
Should stay back home. Stay back home. When and many will come and insult you, what are you doing there? If you have a vision, 80% of Cameroonians who are out of Cameroon, many of them, those with vision, are praying every day to come back home. Those who are praying to stay here are those with that vision, those with that dream. That is the truth about it. So we are pleading on the government in place to create a necessary condition for all Cameroonians, so that if you are a farmer, you should see the reward and how your product is giving you and making you to become a billionaire. They should give and change the educational system in Cameroon. That is one of the issues. That is one of the issues. You see people with PhDs in Cameroon in agriculture, but they do not have farm. Everything in Europe, they do not ask you what is a qualification. They ask you, what can you do? And that is one of the things I learned here. What can you do? And then I came to discover that upon all my schooling in Cameroon, I cannot do anything apart from naming part of things, naming history and saying things. If you can do something, who on to what you can do? All Cameroonians are pleading that if you have a talent in you, struggle by all possible means to discover that talent, remain in Cameroon, grow that talent. And the social media is there to expose the evil of the government. When we will expose them on social media, like what happened yesterday with the corrupt Yandan, if we do that, many of those things will reduce, and the government will create, out of shame, a conducive environment for all. And then the anglophone crisis is one of the reasons pushing many people out. And the Cameroon government, together with the government in Cyprus, have gone into an agreement that Cameroon is a safe place, and they are deporting many Cameroonians in Cyprus back home. And many of them, when they will return back like that, they will be struggling to go somewhere. Maybe their life truly is insecure in Cameroon. But these are things that the government is presenting. That Cameroon is a secure place on pieces of paper. If they can make and stop the issue in the northwest and the southwest region, many Cameroonians will return back home. Many Cameroonians will not desire to go back home, to go out of the country. Many people have been pushed under the poverty line, and then you do not expect them to stay there. And the little they have to distribute it through all the checkpoints. Any small document you want to do in Cameroon, they have increased tax without increasing revenue or income. And then you expect people to stay here. The hardship is the main reason why many are running out of Cameroon. And there is nothing we can do. Because when you ask those who were fighting there yesterday, those who were in that line struggling to go to Canada, they will give you reason that you cannot give any answer. Only the government can do it. Create favorable conditions, change the educational system in Cameroon, and everything, and all Cameroonians will remain home.
The recent increase in the salaries of civil servants after the increase in fuel prices that triggered serious inflation in the country has been qualified by many as insignificant with regards to the increase that was brought about by the government in fuel prices and the subsequent increase in prices of basic commodities on the market and just every other thing. Now, Natasha Mama, let's talk about this wind of change blowing through the ongoing voter registration exercise in Cameroon. Especially young people who spoke to us here in Douala said they want nothing else other than change, particularly at the helm of the state. They want another person, preferably a young person, to take over the leadership of this country. What do you think about this perspective?
I am in total support for that. We not change. Cameroon needs, not just needs, Cameroon is in desperate need of a change, political change in Cameroon, that a young person should take over leadership in Cameroon. And that is why I am not sleeping. That is why we in the diaspora, we are campaigning every blessed day for voter registration to start in the diaspora so that we also can contribute to that. Looking at it, it is not something, because we have a president who is the oldest nearly in the whole world. We have a president who has been in power for 41 years, getting to 42 years. And Cameroon cannot stand and say, this is what we have. We are blessed by God with all the resources. A rich country can stand and say, this is what we have. But we have nothing. President Paul Biya, for 41 years in power, has not accomplished anything. So what Cameroonians are out for this period is that we want to see what God has given to us, the blessing God has bestowed upon Cameroon. Not in destruction, not poverty, and all these things. That is not what Cameroon should be passing through with all what God has given them. So
President Paul Biya,
total support.
President Paul Biya in 41 years has achieved nothing. Are you saying that he has done nothing at all, or he has done something but has not done as much as he was expected to do, or he has achieved nothing at all?
No, to me, President Paul Biya has done nothing. When I talk about doing something, it is not starting projects. President Paul Biya, the only thing President Paul Biya has done is on complete projects. Every year they have thousands of projects, and then at the end they will not accomplish anyone. When I talk about accomplishing something, I'm talking about all for 41 years, President Paul Biya has distributed and made sure that all Cameroonians are having electricity, constant electricity. He has not done that. There are many parts of Cameroon with that they have never seen electricity with their naked eyes. Cyprus here, for 5 years that I've been in Cyprus, I've never seen and witnessed electricity cut for 1 minute. I only saw it in the news. That electricity will be disconnected in this place for maintenance. I've never seen it. For the drinkable water, Cameroon have many sources of drinkable water, but many places in Cameroon do not have drinkable water. That is what I'm talking about. If you have been in power for 41 years and you are unable to give what is necessary for life to your own citizen, drinkable water, people are still dying because they lack clean, drinkable water in which you have been in power for 41 years, you have done nothing. If we are talking about President Paul Biya accomplishing something for 41 years in power, Douala Yaoundé Road is considered as death trap, killing people every blessed year. If you count the number of people that usually have accident and died because of road accident along the Douala Yaoundé Road, for 41 years, President Paul Biya is unable to construct that way, two-way, that the cars going to Douala is passing this way, the car coming to Yaoundé is passing this way for 41 years. Here in Cyprus, a small country without anything, when they talk about natural resources, there is no place. If you want to see dogs, you go to the farm. That is where you will see dogs in Cyprus. A small country with nothing. And then Cameroon with all the natural resources, the money, everything, human resources. President Paul Biya cannot. People are dying, and then somebody will stand and say, President Paul Biya accomplished something. He accomplished something maybe for those he had chosen to be with them. He has accomplished something by building a sport infrastructure. That sport infrastructure cannot help any Cameroonians. When country want to, the kind of sport infrastructure in Cameroon, we don't have it here in Cyprus, because they are looking at what is necessary for the civilians. They should be certified first, not doing things that will not help them. So to me, President Paul Biya has not accomplished anything. It's security. He has even destroyed everything. There is insecurity in Cameroon today because of his stubbornness for 41 years. He did history, he did political science. He needs to understand when an issue is a political issue and when an issue is a military issue. More than 10,000 people have been brutally killed in southern Cameroon because he hold on to a military option to create insecurity. More than 250 villages burnt down in southern Cameroon because he hold on to military option. More than 1 million people in northwest and southwest region of Cameroon have been pushed below poverty line because a leader who have been there for 41 years refused to create a necessary environment and a secure environment for his citizens. That is what I'm talking about, that he has not achieved anything. Because there are 3 things in life: water, electricity, road, health, education are coming. Paul Biya has not done that.
No.
You cannot be a president for 41 years and you have more than 300 unauthorized hospitals killing people in your own country, and you cannot locate them and close them down. You have good school and good worker, people taking salary on behalf of some other people for more than 10 years, taking salary of 2,600 people, and you say you are governing them without knowing what is happening within your own government. Then, to me, he has done nothing.
Now, do you think that in the present political context of Cameroon, that change can come through the ballot box? Can massive registration be the miracle bullet?
Yes. I just came to this conclusion a few days behind, that I came to a conclusion that we can change Cameroon, the political system, or have a new leader in Cameroon through the ballot box. I came to that conclusion just a few days behind, because I look into it that if there are close to 5 million Cameroonians in the diaspora, in which they are all of voting age, if they all can register for this upcoming presidential election, added to what I am seeing on social media, where opposition parties are going into the field, forcing people and advising, convincing people to register, and many people are doing the registration. We will move from that usual 5 million or 6 million registered voter, maybe to 11 million or 15 million registered voter. And if we have this, there will be a change in Cameroon. There will be a change, because throughout this year, the CBN have hold everything on maybe 5 million people, 6 million registered voters. And when that 6 million registered voters, out of 30 million Cameroonians, they are all CBN militants. Those who are not CBN militant, their voting card might not even come. Just as what I saw, that a voting equipment, a registration equipment in Nun region, somebody kept them in the house and refused, maybe trying to register only those who are of the CBN or his own party. Those are the things that we have to. So we can, if all Cameroonians can register for this upcoming presidential election, we will bring a positive change, and we will change the leadership in Cameroon.
Definitely, registration should be followed by voting when the time comes, and voting should be followed by keenly following up what happens after the voting process. That is the vote counting and every other thing that happens after that.
Yes, that is the responsibility of ELECA. One of the responsibility is to create a commission that will be in charge of a voter card distribution, that they have to move and distribute voter card. So it is something that I believe only Cameroonians can change this. And then I keep on telling Cameroonians that the social media is not for us to show ourselves now. The social media is for all Cameroonians to open up and show and expose the evil of the ruling party during this presidential election. So we all have to campaign for everybody to, if election would go on to that, you have to come to their office and take their voter card. Everybody should go there and take their voter card. Everybody. And when you register, you have to ask them when it will be asked. On that day, you should be there. Struggle by opposite women to take your voter card. Concerning the registration, the voting is another part of it. Many people usually vote and go away. But what we are saying is that come 2025, when you vote, you should remain there, and then election should do everything possible to send out the voters, those who are eligible to vote. They should send out the list maybe 1 month or 2 months in all polling stations, so that people will cross-check their names and know where they are. Because in Cameroon, I quite remember, in 2018, many people were moving from one place to another looking for their names, up to the point that they will tell them that you register in this subdivision and your name is in this subdivision. You have to travel within 24 hours. So they should make sure that all those lists will come out maybe 2 months before a voting, so that people can correct their names and people can see and correct wherever they know where they have to vote. And when you vote, all Cameroonians, stand there. Make sure that you have the record at your polling station. Because I witnessed the presidential election here in Cyprus, 2023. Immediately after the voting stopped, the result in less than 30 minutes was already out. Because all polling stations posted their result on social media. And they calculated and know who. And the same thing I believe happened in Senegal. It did not take some period before it was out. So if Cameroonians can stand and make sure, secure their vote up to the point that their vote will be read and they will hear that my result have been read, then that will be all. Because if you just vote and disappear, they will give a different result. And everything should be opened with the help of social media. Everything and every police station should be open.
Even though in Cameroon, publishing provisional results is prohibited by the law. Let's take some interviews and we'll be right back in some few minutes. Interviews of the week.
The owner of the hotel, who seems to be a CPDM militant, connived with some of the top officials of the party. I'm quite sure that was quite cooked in Yaoundé to disrupt this meeting today. We have the authorization from the owner to hold our meeting here. The subdivisional officer for Doha 3 was rightly informed, and he issued a receipt to show that he gave his acceptance for the meeting to hold. This is evidence of the fact that the regime in place is bent on using all Machiavellic means to remain in power. The CM is bent on conquering power through the ballot and through the peaceful means. That's why you see we would have created chaos today, but it's not part of our DNA. We remember the similar case happened in Konsamba. Before we held a meeting in Konsamba, it had to go through bazooka for bazooka, and we don't want it. We are calling on the Yaoundé regime to really prove themselves civilized.
Drinks are poisonous because the hygienic conditions are not assembled before these wines have been produced. So I think for now, this is all I have to say, pending investigations that have already been opened by the Regional Chief of Judicial Police upon my instructions. Bamenda is not a no man's land. Order must reign in Bamenda.
It's really a surprise for me to see an industry like this in my community. If we look at the hygienic situation here, what I've seen inside there, I don't think I will ever taste wine again in my life. So it's really surprising, and I really wish that the security should take measures and see that we stop this and stop them once and for all.
We're able to discover a good number of products which were in the process of making the fake wine and other dangerous products. We have the products as you've seen, and you can tell how dangerous it is to the society. A number of people have been arrested, and investigations are still going on.
The problem we face today is how this money is being used. At the level of CCC, we receive coins. The moment we give these coins out, we don't receive them back. The deposits are mostly in notes. And when you get into the market, there's always this difficulty of change. How do I change money? You pay for something And it happens that at times you have to abandon certain items because you don't have coins. I think before doing that, they must have carried on some studies, which I'm not privy to the studies. But if that is the way they are looking at it, I think that has been done in Togo. Introducing 200 coins is solving some problems, or is solving their problem. My concern, as I said earlier, will be the uses of the money. If they can bring some other metal that cannot be used to make jewelries or to use other things, as the case we're having in Cameroon, I think that approach may help.
You're welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Lapana Tasha Mama, despite the message of opposition political parties like the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, the Popular Action Party, and other persons like civil society leaders like you, there are still many Cameroonians who are still at that extreme position of pessimism, hopelessness, and despair. And they still think that nothing is going to change. Even if all Cameroonians were to be registered, even if all Cameroonians were to be of voting age and all go to the polling stations on voting day, nothing is going to change with the present mechanism in place, with the present system in place. What will you tell Cameroonians who are in this extreme position of pessimism and hopelessness?
What I have to tell Cameroonians is that I was also there. I made mention that 2 days ago I changed my mentality, that we can change Cameroon through voting, through election. We can change the regime in place through election. If all Cameroonians can go in, all Cameroonians of voting age can go out to register for the upcoming presidential election, go out to vote, to take their voter card, go out to vote and stand there to secure their vote, there will be change in Cameroon. And you should not be discouraged. You should not be discouraged. There are many things that are changing in Cameroon that many people are not understanding. I quite remember, if I make mention to somebody that if there was not social media, there wouldn't have been any crisis in the Northwest and the Southwest region, because the government could have done what they would do hiddenly and stop everybody. But because of social media, everything moves around faster. And we can do same with the issue of registration. Use the social media to campaign for people to register. Vote. Use the social media for people to go and collect their voter cards. Use the social media for people to vote, and use the social media to secure our vote. That is what I'm telling Cameroonians. You should not be discouraged. There is something deep in my spirit. I know that there will be a change in Cameroon come 2025. There will be a new president, a vibrant president, if we all will stand up. And to the opposition parties, our hope is on you people. If you all can stand and help us in the diaspora, so that we can register, the 5 million Cameroonians in the diaspora will vote for you. And how can you help us? I talked about it some time ago, that if all of you can unite yourself, go to the office of Elekam in Yaoundé. I heard them saying that they don't have the finance. Okay, if they don't have the finance, tell them to reduce the registration equipment. Maybe in one division, each division they should take one, reduce one, and send them abroad. Give us abroad just maybe 2 weeks that everybody should go and register, so that we register, they carry their equipment back to Cameroon. It will help us. That is what I'm saying. Because with the CBD, they will not do anything. They will turn around like this until everything will end, and those in the diaspora will not register. And only the opposition party can help us. The opposition parties, they are the hope of these frustrated people. I am seeing what the CRM, PAP, and other opposition parties are doing. It is good. They should keep on doing it, but they should not be. Common people should not be discouraged. That is what I'm telling them. I was there. I was discouraged. I decided that I would not do anything. I would not vote. But I'm saying it, coming clear, that if we gather ourselves, register, vote, and secure our vote, there will be change in Cameroon.
Lapana Tasha Mama, civil society leader and writer, joining us from the south of Cyprus. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babela, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you for all those following and all the staff at the Equinox TV. I am always there. I will always be there for any contribution that we can give for the Cameroon that we want to be in place.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today's edition of The Inside. You can follow the program on our social media platforms, Facebook and our YouTube channel. You can also follow the rebroadcast of the program on Friday at 5 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye.